Coming to our main concept, Routh-Hurwitz criteria. So the Routh-Hurwitz criteria is the concept of analyzing the stability condition of a given system based on the process or step-by-step procedure, based on a process or a step-by-step procedure. So, and this procedure is determined or invented by two different scientists, named as Routh. One scientist name is Routh, and the second scientist name is Hurwitz. So these two scientists worked on this concept and invented this concept. So that's why this concept is called as a Routh-Hurwitz criteria. Okay, so according to this Routh-Hurwitz criteria, so for stability, the necessary and sufficient condition for stability is that all the elements of the first column means you can see this, this is the characteristic equation, right? This is the characteristic equation, and this is the basic representation of Routh-Hurwitz criteria, basic representation or matrix representation of Routh-Hurwitz criteria. And you can see here there are many number of columns here and many number of rows. These rows and columns depends upon this characteristic equation, and the order of the system means the power, the value of n here, s power. Okay, so and this is the first column. So based on the first column only, we can determine the stability of the system with the Routh-Hurwitz criteria. So what he is saying is, what this condition is, all of the elements in the first column of a Routh array. Of course, this array is simply called as a Routh array. This matrix is simply called as Routh array. So all the elements in the first column of the Routh array must be positive. All the coefficients. See here we are having different coefficients: A0, A1, B0, C0, up to so on, G0, H0. So all are the different coefficients here. So all these different coefficients must be positive. That means A0 value has to be positive here. A1 positive, B0 positive, C0 positive, and up to so on. So all these coefficients must have the positive sign. Then only the system will be stable system. If the if this condition is not met, which means any of this coefficient having a negative sign, then the system becomes unstable. Then the system becomes unstable. Any one of the coefficient has got the negative sign, then the system become unstable. And the number of sign changes in the elements of the first column of the Routh array corresponds to the number of roots of the characteristic equation lying on the right half of the S plane, which means simply, let us take a simple example. That is, I'm writing the first column of the Routh array. For example, 4, 2, -1, and 3. Okay, so this is the first column of the Routh array, means like this. Now you can see 4 is having positive sign, 1 is having sorry, this is 2. This 2 is having positive sign, and 1 is having negative sign, and 3 is having positive sign. So according to the Routh-Hurwitz criteria, all the first column elements must have positive sign, but we got a negative sign here. That means this system, the given system, is unstable system. The given system is, sorry, because we have got the negative sign here, so that means the given system is unstable. If all if all the coefficients are positive, then it is stable, but we got a negative sign, so this is unstable system. And we can determine the sign changes also by seeing it. You can see plus to plus, so there is no sign change, and here plus to minus, so one sign change is there, the plus becomes minus here, and then minus to plus, and second sign change. So here we got two sign changes. So according to the Routh-Hurwitz criteria, the number of sign changes gives the number of roots on the right half of the S-plane. So here we got two sign changes. That means we will have two roots lying on the right half of the S-plane. Of course, the system is unstable because we got the negative coefficient. Still, we can determine, we can comment on the roots also based on the number of sign changes that we have. So the number of sign changes are 2, then the number of roots on the right side will be 2. This is how we can determine the stability, and not only the stability, we can also comment on the roots. How many roots? Of course, we cannot calculate the roots clearly, or we cannot calculate the detailed stability condition, but we can estimate the stability, and we can estimate the number of roots lying. Okay, so this is how we can comment on the roots, as well as we can determine the stability based on the Routh-Hurwitz criteria. So for that, we need to construct a Routh array. So like this, you can see for constructing this Routh array, the first two rows, this is first row and this is second row. These first two rows directly written based on the characteristic equation. So you can see this characteristic equation starts with s power n. So the first row will be s power n, and the coefficients will be here. S power n coefficient will be written directly in the first column, and in the second column s power n minus 2 coefficient. See, s power n minus 2, which is a2. So a2 is written here, and then a4, which means s power n minus 4. So s power n minus 4 coefficient will be written here, and s power n minus 6 and s power n minus 8. So likewise, we need to write the coefficients of these s powers in the first row. What about the second row? For the second row, you can see we left s power n minus 1 here. So write s power n minus 1 here and write this coefficient here, a1. And here we will get a3, which is s power n minus 3. Next a5, a7, a9, up to so on. So this is how we can write the first two rows for this Routh array. Then what about this B0, B1, B2, and all the B coefficients, all the C coefficients, and up to so on, G0, H0, and all these coefficients, how we can calculate? So the calculation of all these coefficients comes based on Routh array construction. So let's see how we can calculate the remaining coefficients. Right, so the construction of a Routh array. The construction of Routh array. We know the two rows. This is the first row and this is the second row. Let us consider first row and second row. We know the values of these coefficients. We know what is x0, x1, x2, and all. We know y0, y1, y2, and all. Okay, and this is third row. We need to calculate the coefficients of third row. We don't know about Z0, Z1, Z2, Z3, Z4. We need to calculate Z0, Z1 and Z values. Okay. So for that, to calculate the Z0 here, Z0, simply what you do is multiply Y0 and X1, Y0 and X1 minus Y1 and X0, minus Y1 and X0 divided by this Y0. This gives the Z0 coefficient. So multiply Y0 and X1 minus Y1 and X0 divided by again Y0. So Y0 is the major, it plays a major role here. So we need to divide by Y0. So this, by doing this, we will get a Z0. Then how we can calculate this Z1? Again, see, we have very much importance on the first column, because Routh-Hurwitz criteria completely depends on first column. So we have high importance to the first column. So in order to determine the Z1 also, we use first column elements definitely. So Y0 into X2 as the first term minus Y2 into X0 is the second term. Okay, Y2 minus X0 divided by again Y0. Okay, so in this process we can get Z1. Then what about this Z2? Don't look at the formula directly. By yourself you can estimate this Z2, that is Y0 into X3 minus Y3 into X0, because always this first row will be there by Y0. You can see here Y0 into X3 minus Y3 minus X0 by Y0. So this is how we can construct the Z2 element. So like this we can construct this row. And for the next row also, you know Z0, you know Y1, you know Z1, you know Y0. So for the next row, you will get Z0 into Y1 minus Z1 into Y0 by Z0. So this is the process of estimating or calculating the next row coefficients. Okay, so this process will be clear when you solve a problem. So in the next class, we will solve this example. Okay.